guys, what's up? It's GVKCollectibles, and I just want to say, hey, happy Valentine's Day. And yeah, this is a special Sunday video, so we do these once in a while, and I figured since it's Valentine's Day, let's talk about probably one of the best well-known horror movies set during Valentine's Day, My Bloody Valentine from 1981, directed by George Mikhail, I believe. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, sir, I'm so sorry, but wanted to talk about this. So this particular release, was released, I think, on the 7th of February of 2021, just about roughly a year after the collector's edition. The collector's edition is practically the exact same as the collector's edition. It comes with all the special features, and it is all the 4K scan of the film itself. So there's two versions of the film. There is the theatrical version, which is the one that I've watched, I think, the most. Actually, I think now I've watched, technically I've watched them about equally, I guess. I've watched the uncut version of the film, which I much prefer. It's really, really beautiful, really well done of what Shout Factory was able to do with this particular film, because ultimately My Bloody Valentine was a product of its time, of where the MPA was just butchering horror films, mainly when horror movies got more and more, they got better. They were big box office successes, and they were easy ways to make money, and they were easy to get your investment back. Horror movies started to try to one-up each other with kills and gore, which, don't get me wrong, I love the suspense and spookiness of slasher films, but I also love the gore too. But usually a lot of this meant a lot of the films got really butchered just due to MPA not wanting to have as much blood or gore, because it's just a lot of weird inconsistencies. Even the director says that, where there's a lot of weird inconsistencies with of what they're thinking of when they're really cutting the film. There's some parts that doesn't make sense. It's like, oh, this frame's fat. But it was a product of its time, because essentially of what, when they were cutting the film, they were cutting the negatives, so they had the original film was getting cut as along, so that's probably the reason why. But with this new 2K scan, it's been about a year, not 2K, 4K scan, I'm sorry. The film looks beautiful, it looks really, really well, great, beautiful, well done film. And to note, the biggest difference with this to the collector's edition, which is the regular version, is this steel case. It is a deluxe case, and it's just a very, very beautiful deluxe case. I'll get close-ups of this, give you a little bit better look at the art on it, and because it is a beautiful piece of piece of steel, I guess. It's really, really cool. I know there are people who don't necessarily like steel cases. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm 50-50 when it comes to steel cases. Steel cases for me are very much I like them, but I can also see why people dislike them some of the times. I'd rather prefer having a regular Blu-ray. But that isn't the noticeable big set of this, and it's also to note that pretty much any special features you see on the one that was released last year are all pretty much on this one, which is really, really great. And it just depends on what you were asking for. But that wasn't the biggest selling point of this particular film, the particular version of this one. The biggest one for me was the steel case. The steel case looked really, really beautiful, really well done. A lot of the bonus features on the DVDs are really great. Shout Factory is always known to making really, really great just behind the scenes stuff. Anything they can get their hands on, essentially, they can put on the film, with whether it be director interviews or interviews with the actors and stuff, and even including on the which is really, really cool. On the main feature, they actually have they have theatrical spots. They have the theatrical trailer. They also have TV spots. They also have a radio ad, which I've never seen a DVD actually, or I wouldn't say DVD, but relatively a special features done. I remember hearing, usually sometimes I'll hear DVD, TV radio spots for movies, but it's been a long time, so it kind of brings you back to that point of time and during the 80s, which is really, really nice. Once again, this came out 81, so right at the peak of the slasher genre, which, for a lot of people, which, like, that's a great thing, and it is remembered as one of the well-remembered slasher films of the time, up there with Friday the 13th, like, the Halloween sequels of Nightmare on Elm Street. Well, even though Nightmare on Elm Street didn't come until 84. But it was really, really cool getting insights on the director, talking about, like, everything that was going on with the film. It was really, really cool in how they actually worked in a bit of a mine for a majority of the film. Like, they worked at a near a local mine. There's some scenes that they didn't necessarily have to. They had to film in stages, mainly like the beginning of the film, and also the climactic battle, because you can't really do that within a real mine, because it'll collapse on you. But one of the cool things was, so for those of you who don't know what My Bloody Valentine is, it is about it's set in a small mining town called Valentine's Bluff, which is funny enough to say. But basically they're going to have this dance that hasn't been held in, like, years because of something that happened terribly at the mines. Ultimately, though, a killer. Ultimately, after that, a killer starts killing people, known as Harry Warden. And the thing is it Harry Warden or is it not? Because assumingly Harry Warden was sent to an asylum and was there. But all of a sudden the killings start happening again, which is really, really bad for the town. But, like, the young people don't really they don't necessarily care. Well, and they don't know about it either, because the sheriff kind of keeps it on the down low because people don't want to panic. One of the things I will say about the killer in this movie, he's known as a miner. I call him Harry Warden, even though if it's I won't say spoilers for people who are new to the film, even though the film is just miraculously, it turned 40 years old this year, which is incredible to think of, that this film has endured and been iconic as long as it's had. But the miner himself is a very, very iconic slasher villain, and which, of course, we'll get into in a minute, because I will actually, at the end of the video, we'll actually delve into this guy real quick. It'll just be kind of like a mini review. But other than that, they also which was really, really cool that they included this. But basically, there's a lot of cool things, and you also get the Ballad of Harry Warden, which is a cool little song at the end that is played at the end of the movies, which is really, really great and really fun. Like, I think it is very, very cool to have that there is this kind of mythology built within this, like, the town legend that ends up being true. Very much like Nightmare on Elm Street, where you have Freddy Krueger, which I don't know if they took a little of that, but I don't want to, like, insinuate anything, but, like, it is really, really cool. Like, it has a very urban legend feel, and also watching the film has a lot, like, it feels, even though I never really grew up in this in a mining town at all, like, I can't necessarily say that I've experienced it. It has a very homely feel to it. It's like a small town that you feel is very organic and very real, which is really, really great. Also to note, the director actually said that they hired, because the town was actually the town that they actually filmed in was a closed, like, the mine was closed, and everybody was, a lot of people lost their jobs. Ultimately, they employed about, like, half the crew was employed from that town, so they used as much as possible, which is a really, really cool thing that they did for that particular, for that town. And it actually ends up, one of the guys actually went pretty far within the industry, and he actually continues doing what he did on My Bloody Valentine, which is really, really cool and really, really, like, interesting. It's really cool to see the, like, ins and outs of, like, the film, like, filmmaking, especially with horror films, because horror films are like they are, I think, some of the most interesting films to film, along with sci-fi and, like, even, like, monster movies too, like Godzilla films. It was actually also cool with when doing the commentary of when he does, like, the director does want to do a sequel, which I think would be really, really cool. And seeing, like, films like Halloween 2018 of how successful they are and being taken seriously, I think it would be really, really cool. There is a remake of this film that came out in 2009 that was which was, oddly enough, that year there was, like, Friday the 13th and this, and they were both in 3D, which is very, very funny to me. But Also, well, without me gabbing on any longer about the movie itself, I actually want to talk about the set itself. So, Shout Factory always does a lot of cool things with their particular releases. So, they did a release of where they have, for when you pre-order, you actually get a poster. And this poster is really, really cool. It is the poster of the actual Steelbook, which is really, really well done. I really love the art on the Steelbook, as I said, and it is really cool. You only got this, really, if you pre-ordered the Blu-ray. They did the exact same thing with the Friday the 13th set. If you pre-order the Friday the 13th set, you actually get, you can't really see it, but I did think you guys saw it in the Jason, not the Godzilla vs. Kong video. I actually got a Jason, the box art poster, which is really, really cool that Shout Factory does that. So, without further ado, let's get into the figure real quick and talk about him, then we'll end it there. As I said, here is the, this is actually the Neca figure, the clothed 8-inch minor figure, aka Harry Warden figure. Now this, when this was announced, I was super, super excited that they announced this. I kind of figured it was going to be a kind of Shout Factory does this, because, like a Shout Factory exclusive, mainly because NECA does do these particular figures. I think one of the big ones that they did was they did the Silent Night Deadly Night figures. They did, I think, Silent Night Deadly Night Part 2. They did Night of the Demons. They did Night of the Creeps. A lot of cult classic films, and they did this guy. And I know this guy was actually, for a lot of people, this was a very, very much a highly anticipated figure for ultimately for me, I would prefer it was an Ultimate figure, but man, I think I would have got this a few years ago, but since I've been such a fan of these cloth figures the past few years, I am super excited with this figure. I think it's really, really well done. And another cool thing about the on the commentary, the director actually stated, like, everything that the miner wears is actually what they would really wear in the mine, which is really, really cool. It has a sense of authenticity to it, if you could say that. It is really, really cool. The box, as let's get the miner out of the way, and I want to put the accessories out of your way real quick. The box is really, really cool, really well detailed. Has the miner's face right there with Valentine Valentine, the miner. And also, there's more than one way to lose your heart, which is very, very true if you've seen the film. Then you get a side profile, which looks really, really good. It looks, the sculpting on this guy looks phenomenal. The back of the paint, very much like your typical regular release for a cloth figure. It's really, really well done. I kind of actually don't want to get rid of this box, because I think it is just so cool and so well done. My Bloody Valentine. Then you also get, as always, I will get a close-up of that real quick for you, the credits, mainly because NECA, as I said, I think I continuously point out in a lot of the videos whenever I do a NECA figure review, they always show the credits of who worked on these figures, which is really, really great and really well done. So, with the box out of the way, let's get onto the miner himself. And as I said, he looks awesome. Like, he looks fantastic. I think he is probably one of my favorite cloth figures. He is so really, really well done. He has his main weapon, of course, the pickaxe, which has a lot of cool. It has like a brown. It looks exactly like how a mining pickaxe would look like. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Oh my god, my voice kind of went out there for a moment. But you get a little silver dry brushing here. There we go. As you can see, there is a bit of silver dry brushing on the top of the pickaxe, which is really, really cool. I would have loved some blood spatter, but, like, once again, you could probably do that with a custom. It's really, really well done, like, for pickaxe. For the longest time, we were trying to figure out who this belonged to. I think NECA teased it a while ago, but then we thought, oh, it's going to a specific figure, but then, of course, they did the Harry Warden figure, which is really, really well done. Another thing he just comes with this kind of regular combat knife. I don't know if this particular knife is a newly molded one, or if it's one, because it looks kind of similar to the Ghostface one, although it could be completely different. Really, really good one. No, it's about a regular size. It's a knife, as I should say. You got the brown tip right here, and you also got the silver, which is really well done. You also get a little, like, kind of, like, I don't know what kind of texture, the unique kind of texture right here. Like, it's kind of like Got little not little holes, but it makes it look more like a knife, which looks really, really good and really done. Well done. Here he has the nail gun, which is a brutal scene in the movie where the main guy, one of the guys, gets his head stapled, and it's really, really violent. Like, it looks like it's like a cat. Like, the nail gun is really, really well done. Has the silver and the black. Really, really looks good. Also, on the grip, Neca, which I think is really, really funny. Neca always does that with some of their figures. Like, same thing with the hoverboard with the Back to the Futures. They always have their, like, name on the logo, which is really, really funny. Because, you know, licensing stuff is expensive. And also the piece de resistance, the chocolate of hearts, when it's actually a really, really a heart, which is really, really well detailed, looks really great, wonderful, well done, I think, for, you know, heart. It's a heart. What can you say? But to get on to Harry Warden himself, he just looks really, really cool, really well done. Mine does have like a little bit of a seam mark right here, but it's really unnoticeable, and I don't really care about it that much. But man, he looks really, really great, really fantastic. He also has, so the articulation for him, just real quick, you can look up a lot, even with the tube connected, which is really, really good. Which I assume, like, that tube is like that for a reason, to look up as far as you can. His arms move out that way. He's got a, not calf swivel, but he has a swivel right there. He has double jointed elbows. His arms can move out. His arms don't really have too much the hands don't have really too much articulation. That's just due to the gloves, which is completely fine, because you're just gonna probably have him posed with the pickaxe always. That's at least with mine. You also can, kind of cool thing too, at least for mine, I do it, is you can have the storage right there on the belt itself, which is really, really cool, unless there is actually like a place to put the knife, and I'm a dumb idiot. But he's got double jointed, I think double jointed knees. I believe it is. Boots can go up, down, you can kick up that far. Kind of kick up a little back. Very particular of, and he's also got a good ankle pivot, which is really, really good. And all his weapons go in pretty easy. Pickaxe. Oh no! There we go. Pickaxe goes like that, which is really, really good. Really well done. But yeah, once again, I think this is a really phenomenal figure. I'm really glad Neca put this out with, they worked out with Shout Factory. I think they maybe have wanted to work out a deal, like it would have been cool to get it with the other one, but it's a steel case, and you also get the addition of the poster if you pre-ordered, which is really, really cool. And as I said, we'll get close-ups of the shot real quick, but man, just some of the detailing on the figure is really, really good. And really well done. I really love this particular figure. I'm really glad to have it in my collection. I was actually going to just get the original figure, but then I decided to get the whole the Steelcase book, because I didn't have the other figure too. So yeah, those are ultimately my thoughts on the Harry Warden action figure. Now back to the regular stuff. Alrighty, and that is my thoughts on the My Bloody Valentine Steelcase edition with the Harry Warden, aka the minor figure. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a little something different, like even a little different from the Godzilla vs. Kong video. I usually don't do reviews like on these kind of this kind of stuff, but I figured, you know what, since it's Valentine's Day, I might as well. All I could say is, I guys hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day, and hopefully that's pretty much it. So once again, I hope you hit like and hit subscribe and hit the little bell notification. You're going to avoid when Mythical Mountain Mondays, What's in the Box Wednesdays, figure reviews, and even these little videos, like these little special videos that we do on Sundays and sometimes Tuesdays, depending. I did Godzilla vs. Kong speculation trailer, which that trailer had hit 60 million views, which is completely crazy to me that how much hype is going into that film. I'm very, very excited, and hopefully you get to see more of these, because I would love to do some of these more. I would love to talk about movies a lot more on the channel, because I'm a big movie guy and a horror guy. So once again, you can actually check out, because I probably will actually get close-ups of all these pretty much. I'll do some like a gallery, a little of all, like the Steelcase, the Harry Warden figure, and of course the poster. You'll get to see the poster, of course, on Instagram, but you'll also see it in the video too. Also check us out. Check my brother out at Jack's Pop Guy. Has a lot of cool Funko Pops. He's a big collector in that. He also collects sports cards. Also check us out in our respective Mercari shops too. We have a lot of cool stuff on each our respective shops. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a happy Valentine's Day. Hopefully you're not alone. If you are, hopefully you got a dog or a cat, because they will love you regardless. And try not to run into this guy this year, because he's a bit of a prick when it comes to Valentine's Day. So with that being